Hello everyone, welcome to another film log update video. Today will be the sixth video in this series, and yes, today we'll be covering the films that I've watched or rewatched, of course, during September and October 2020. So yes, very interesting to do. This I've been doing this for a while now, and it's really great to do. I think just to kind of express my opinions, on some films, for example, that I can't review, haven't got the time, or just don't plan on reviewing, and just to get a general talking point about a variety of different films, and just to log my thoughts as well, on these films. This time around though, as well, usually around this time of a film log update, I do a Blu-ray update. That won't be coming until really the end of December or early January to cover 4 months worth. Not enough to kind of show for these 2 months, unfortunately. So yeah, that'll just come then, and for now we stick with the film log update video, and we'll do another one obviously around that time as well, for November and December. It's just the way it is, but yeah, that's absolutely fine. And of course, Christmas coming up anyway. There will just be some great ones to talk about, I guess, for around that time. So yes, we'll skip that, and we'll just carry on with the film logs. And yes, this time obviously September to October. So October, a lot of Halloween films, kind of horror films. So yeah, especially the second half, of October, variety of horrors, and it was great to do. But a lot of these films, yes, horror films out here, and yes, we'll start off though with a film that I forgot to kind of mention in my last video, update video, and that was of course Robin Hood, Men in Tights, of course the Mel Brooks film, and of course being a parody of Robin Hood films, and especially the Errol Flynn version that's heavily parodied in that film, and very interesting film. One that I found out recently, actually, looking up and stuff, is not too popular for a Mel Brooks film, and it's kind of panned at times, and I'd seen a bit of this before, here and there, growing up and stuff, and I remember different bits from this film, but this was the first time I actually sat down and watched this all the way through, and yes, I really enjoyed it, I must say. It's hard to give a rating on this film, even still, but I think a really enjoyable, and very charming experience, and just really feel good, actually. No, it's not. I don't think it's a kind of a great film personally, but really impressive. Just a very enjoyable film, and some good writing. Gags, of course. Just a very lovely experience, and kind of a nice celebration, I feel, of different Robin Hood works, and that's how you do it as a parody. There's kind of affection and love for these different films, works, and just the actual the casting here was very much on point. So yeah, thought I'd want to mention that first, because I did forget that last time around. But yes, starting off with the first film to mention here for September, and that is mid-90s, of course, the Jonah Hill film, directing this film here, and his first directorial film outing, of course. And I must say, I'd heard some things about this, some real praise for this film, and I was very much looking forward to this. Real big Jonah Hill fan, of course, from his acting, but this was very interesting to check out what he would do as a director, and I must say this was a wonderful film, actually, and really instantly just connecting to all this, and really, I must say, a great film. I absolutely loved it, and I think very powerful film, very nostalgic film, and also just really unique one, actually, as well, and a callback film. Didn't feel too modern, and that was great to see, and just a real lovely film here. Very kind of shocking, and I'd say quite raw, actually, its emotions, but really wonderful piece of film here, and just a really great first directorial outing for Jonah Hill. Very much impressed with this. Absolutely loved it, and real great one to kind of have as one of my first watches of September, and yes, just a wonderful film for me. Next up is Knowing, starring Nicolas Cage, and from 2009 this one, and really interesting film, this, one that I'd seen a couple of times soon after it came out, a few years ago, and really had some great memories of this. Just the kind of, I remember the kind of the weather and the evening itself, the first watch, and remember being very really nice experience, and it was very peaceful, and I found that within the film actually itself, and was really interested to kind of check this one out again, and so enjoyable this one, I must say. Personally, I really like this film. I love elements of this actually, and I think Nicolas Cage is really great once again. Very unique film this, really bizarre at times, I must say. You'll get your wacky kind of Nick Cage moments, the kind of different lines, and just really odd moments in this film, but I really like it. I think it's very unique. At times, some generic moments, but really unique overall thriller, drama film, and really warm feeling I get from this. I always got this when I watched it, when I was younger, and just remember that kind of feeling, and it just came back to me in this watch, and really great use of music as well, which I won't ruin if you kind of classical music fans out there, but yes, very very famous film this, I must say, but it's not one that is popular really overall, but I must say I really defend this film. I think it's very underappreciated, and really in places, actually for me personally, a very special film. Overall, it's a very much a solid film. It kind of it goes in some different directions, and at times, it's not as enjoyable as different, acts of the film, and it's kind of maybe up and down, you could say, in different regards. But overall, definitely a film that I really, really like, and yes, personally, I defend this film. Next up is The Happy Time Murders, starring Melissa McCarthy. Also, Maya Rudolph is in this film, and both very enjoyable in this, very, very good, and just overall, though, it's an okay film. I can't say too much about this. It's definitely. It's funny in places, and kind of charming, endearing in some regards. But overall, yes, it's kind of an average film for me, and one that I found at times was very very flat, and stuff. But and the plot itself, it's just it wasn't as enjoyable as it could have been. But overall, an okay comedy film. Not much more to say there, and I enjoyed the performances especially, and definitely some good, kind of action in this film as well, and just a nice, fine film, to kind of watch, and feel good at times as well. So I can't really say too much more about that. Next up, a very very special film for me, and that is Me, Myself, and Irene, and of course starring Jim Carrey. And I saw this film many many times as a kid. Recently rewatching this, obviously in September, and wow, indeed. I think, of course, being a Farrelly Brothers film, of course, Dumb and Dumber is the big one. They directed, this is a very, very popular film, and I think, personally, actually, once again, reminded of this film, how much I love this film. I think it's up there with Dumb and Dumber for me, and absolutely love this film. At least one of my favourite modern comedies, and it's on my list actually of favourite films. Absolutely love this film, and I won't ruin the film for those of you who haven't seen this, but it's very very I think very investing kind of narrative, not just being a comedy, great comedy, but such an emotional at times, at least I find, drama film as well, and just a delightful experience, really, really wonderful actually for me. A truly great comedy film, and Jim Carrey, one of his absolute greatest roles for me. Everyone else as well in this film, so hilarious, and just amazing. Just characters. Yes, indeed. Next up is Click. That's a film that I saw a little bit, at school actually. Just on the lunch break, and I remember seeing. Kind of a segment, the opening of this film, Click, and just kind of never getting to see the rest of it, and always wanted to kind of check it out fully. Obviously, Adam Sandler, been mentioning recently. I'm a big fan of Adam Sandler, of course, and recently going through quite a few of his films that I'd never seen, his early works especially, and obviously this is not exactly an early work of his, but relatively early, and it's a film that I'd never seen, as I say, and really, really like this one. Very, very good film here. I think I love the use of. I won't ruin the film, but it's a very, very clever film, and in the end, very emotional actually. But just such an investing piece, and Adam Sandler is great in this film, and so the rest of the cast really. Very, very charming film once again, and once again, just a really lovely, charming experience, involving Adam Sandler and Click. Certainly a film that I really, really like, and you could say I love this film actually, and certainly one of his best films that I've seen. And yes, next up, Dead Silence. This is a James Wan film, and one of the ones that I'd never seen before. From this is the director, and obviously for me a great horror director. James Wan, and this one, I hadn't heard too much about this. It was an okay film. Maybe a little bit kind of standard actually. This one was a bit disappointed in it. But overall, I guess I liked it. It was kind of it had its moments, and it had a good sense of atmosphere, and it was a mildly enjoyable film. Again, I like the film. I'd say, but not a film that is kind of one of his best. I wouldn't say, and definitely, has its moments that are just quite flat. And personally, I just couldn't get behind certain aspects of this film. Overall, though, an okay film. And definitely has its moments. Kind of a warm film as well. Overall. But yes, not much more to say there on Dead Silence. Next up, and some ones here that I was just watching in September to kind of get me in that kind of October mood. And yes, so more horrors here as well. But yes, the House Massacre from 2015, and just reading these off my laptop, of course, with my log. But yes, a very interesting film. I guess if this hadn't been as kind of campy and kind of self-aware and as much of a comedy, I could have disliked this because it was a really, really gross and just just kind of really kind of gruesome film here. And I guess the thing that really kept this film from being unenjoyable was the characters, and the comedy, I guess, and just the way this film, is very much, this campy film over the top, and really very particular film this, and I guess so yeah, I did like it quite a bit actually, but very, very gross, and really, really disturbing at times. Again, if this hadn't been a comedy, wow, I would say I'd be able to recommend it for light viewing. But yes, overall very enjoyable film, a decent film overall, and really just an interesting horror film, kind of a callback. Slasher film as well in that sense. Next up, John Waters, Crybaby, and this is a film obviously starring Johnny Depp, and it's kind of this really unique and very, very wacky kind of musical film, and certainly I liked this one quite a bit. I didn't love the film, but it's a very interesting kind of introduction to this director, to this filmmaker for us. And yes, John Waters, certainly was someone who I'm looking forward to checking out his work. Some of his films, maybe not so much. They might not be for me, at least. And but nevertheless, this one here, very enjoyable, and nice, nice feel-good film as well. And it's just a good film, I feel. And next up, The Dream Child, Nightmare on Street 5. Again, I reviewed this film very recently. But once again, watching some of these films and having a great time with most of these, and in some way at least. And this one, obviously, for me, is an average film. But if you want to check out my thoughts on that film, check out my review if you're interested. But next up is Krampus, and this is a very, very interesting film starring Adam Scott and many, many different actors, of course. But I was really looking forward to seeing this, this horror Christmas film. It's very, very unique, I guess. Looking, kind of thinking on that, I haven't really seen too many horror Christmas films, I guess, and very, very unique film. This, it starts out a very particular way. I was kind of feeling the sense of wonder to it, and as the film went on, I was just kind of wowed at times by this film, and really, really dark at times. But really feel good as well, and the kind of blend, that kind of getting you in the mood, for Christmas, also being really disturbing, and just wow, very, very dark film, but very nice combination here. Really great kind of fantastical feeling this film has, and just very, very good film. Really, really like this one. It's a very it kind of lifted my spirits on a very, very bad day for me actually. When I watched this one, but really just when I started watching this, it just kind of took my mind off things, and yeah, just really nice experience. Looking back, already with kind of fond memories of this. But yes, really recommend this film, and very disturbing at times. Perhaps this won't be for everyone, of course, but if you're interested in a horror film, it's quite kind of a unique one, and kind of a family film as well. Definitely check it out. I'd certainly recommend it. And yes, next up, a film after that, the film I watched the next day, I think, was Maniac, and this stars, of course, Elijah Wood, and kind of this very unique film here. A slasher film, kind of thriller horror, but one that's kind of mostly shot in a very interesting way. I won't ruin the film if you haven't seen it, but yes, really effective film. Certainly a film I didn't think would be actually this good. Kind of hearing on this, and just kind of reading up on it, on this film a little bit, and just kind of being very surprised. Pleasantly surprised, but I say that pleasantly. It was a very disgusting film, but yes, really for what this film was doing, highly effective. I did at times love this film. And overall, very good. Kind of really character driven, emotionally driven slasher film. I've never really seen a film like this actually in a long time, and really Elijah Wood was great in this film, absolutely amazing, and just a very disturbing, but highly investing, in my opinion, and surreal kind of horror film, or horror thriller, and really I'd recommend it if you if you're kind of perhaps if you're okay with extreme violence, that is, because it's very graphic film. But yes, next up, a film that I reviewed very recently, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, of course, Humphrey Bogart, and it's a film that I absolutely loved, and again, I reviewed this very recently, and if you're interested in my thoughts on that film, you check out the review. But overall, absolutely amazing, legendary, of course. Fargo, again, a Coen Brothers film that I watched in September. Haven't got around to reviewing it yet. I will try to review that film in the next 2 weeks. So yes, hopefully I can do that. And just a film that I just haven't had the time to kind of get a review up for. But yes, next up, Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Again, I reviewed that film, and for me, again, this film, is panned, very unpopular film overall. Pretty much, a hated film in the franchise, but I like it. I think it's not one of my favourite films in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, but I reviewed that film. I do like that film. You have some good memories attached to it as well, and yes, check out my ranking as well. For these films I done a while back. Next up is Paper Moon, starring Ryan O'Neal and Tatum O'Neal as well, and yes, a film that I picked up recently, and it's a film that I wanted to see for a number of years, and just really been looking forward to seeing this. Of course, directed by Peter Bogdanovich. Really, I've heard many things about this film, and this director going in, and obviously Ryan O'Neal, is one of my favourite actors really, and of course Barry Lyndon especially. But yes, I was very much looking forward to this, and it actually exceeded my expectations. I couldn't review this film because I was so floored by it. And again, I'd have to rewatch the film maybe in a few months, just to kind of get my full thoughts. But wow, absolutely easy masterpiece for me, and just one of the best films. Among the best films I've ever seen. Just a wonderful film. I thought it'd be, all I knew was it'd be, a road trip film really, and perhaps it'd be kind of dark at times. I'd heard a few things on that, in that regard. But really, wow, what a film. I'd love to review this film sometime, but I'd have to rewatch it first probably, and just to gather my full thoughts on this. But yes, absolutely stunning, and one of the best films I've ever seen actually. Personally, obviously, a lot of people love this film, and I'm certainly one of these fans of the film, absolutely. And yes, the day after that, Dante's Peak, a very charming film in my opinion. Of course, Pierce Brosnan, Linda Hamilton as well, starring in this film. I'd seen this a few times as a kid, being kind of really into back then as a kid, kind of disaster films, and I guess It's certainly among my favourite kind of disaster films, and I just love this film personally. Again, not a popular film, but I really love this film, and Pierce Brosnan, around the time of his Bond days, and just on form here with that kind of charming character that he played in this film, and just really love this film. Just a very warm, also very dark, quite graphic film at times, but just so feel good. The characters and all this, just the progression of this film, and the actual, the real great practical effects in this film. Really loved the visual storytelling in this film, and overall, just a lovely film, and really feel good. But yes, really investing in this film, and yes. Next up, a Disney short. I've been watching on Disney Plus. Over the last few months, especially. Many Disney shorts, perhaps on my Tuesdays, where I haven't really got as much time, most of the time, to watch perhaps a feature film. I would watch, short, recently, due to a few things. I've not had as much time, on particular days of my week, but yes, Chip and Dale, of course, Chip and Dale are different. These characters, there are many different shorts, but this is titled Chip and Dale. Just one of their many films that I've seen, and really enjoyed this one. Just a very feel-good kind of Disney short, and yes, been watching Donald Duck ones as well, very recently, and really uplifting, of course, and taking me back to my kind of childhood as well. Just really like that one. Next up, a very unique for me, and really powerful film. That is The Miseducation of Cameron Post, starring, of course, Chloe Grace Moretz, and of course, very good actress indeed, and very good once again. Great in this film actually. Really very powerful film this, and it was really interesting seeing this. Again, didn't really know too much about this going in, and very unique, and just very kind of emotional, this film, and just very bold as well. For me, the film isn't quite great because I think some things perhaps were kind of cut off for my liking, and just wasn't some perhaps arcs in the film, different characters perhaps could have been for me developed further, and I wasn't quite fully satisfied with the narrative, but nevertheless, so well acted, this film, and the script is very human, and just very interesting film. Really charming as well, and some comedy in there, and but really just a very emotional film, and just very good film. Not quite great, but very good, and one that I really liked personally. Next up, The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, and of course directed by Billy Wilder. Very interesting, that kind of fact. But yes, this film, of course, quite famous. I guess it's kind of popular as well. I really enjoy this one. I think the film did it kind of went off though in a strange direction. I think the first kind of 45 minutes or so I absolutely loved. I found it to be absolutely just such a great film. But for me, the film went off when they actually went on their kind of adventures. I think seeing him at first, Holmes and Watson are obviously in this film, just together, so charming, and just the comedy in this, and what they're kind of exploring in this film was so compelling, and just so charming. But of course, they actually went off, on different cases, one in particular, throughout the rest of the film. And for me, it was kind of, unfortunately, a bit flat for my liking, and which just was never as interested in the film as it went on. Overall, though, very solid. But for me, if it kept up to that kind of first 45 minutes, I'd be calling this a great film, and just loved the feeling of this film. Very charming, and just a very kind of nice film. I feel very pleasant, and very nostalgic. This one actually. So yes. Next up is The Awful Truth, starring Cary Grant, and a film that I did pick up very recently, and was really hyped to see this film. Obviously, Cary Grant, one of my absolute favourite actors, such a legend to me, and this film, let me say, is also legendary. Absolutely love this one. I guess I kind of predicted that, how could I not at least really like this film based on just what I kind of read about this, and you know, a Cary Grant classic. You know, how could I not like this film? You know, really very very special film. Very, you know, uniquely light, yet so investing. This film here, and you know, comedy, drama, romance, and absolutely love this film from start to finish. I would like to get up a review at some point, but it'd be possibly a bit kind of further down the line, and you know, I guess perhaps I'd have to rewatch some of the film just to kind of be sure on a few things, how to kind of express my opinions of them, you know, and how you know, different characters, you know, are kind of working, the character working in the film, just to kind of get the particulars down, so I can actually, you know, talk about the film, you know, in more detail. But you know, absolutely wonderful, and it's just a magical piece of cinema, as predicted, really. But yes, Cary Grant, always growing in my estimations, you know, and you know, just absolutely love this guy, and yes, what a legend he was. Next up, Enola Holmes. You know, again, I watched, of course, The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, and was just kind of in this kind of mood, and of course, Enola Holmes, recently coming out on Netflix, obviously, and yes, really liked this film, actually, and you know, didn't really. Again, all I knew was you know, the cast of this film, really, and the basic kind of plot. But you know, really charming film, very feel good, and really nice in its kind of you know, its feeling. This one really, it feels you know, like a callback film as well, and you know, really just lovely film. Next up is Quantum of Solace, of course, another Bond film, and yeah, I reviewed this film very recently, so you can check that out if you want. But yes, not one of the Bond films that I personally like overall. Some elements that I take from it, but just not for me personally overall. But yes, you know, it's not you know, certainly a film that I've kind of it's the most I've liked the film, but I don't like it overall. So yeah, we'll just say that. But yes, obviously, you know, we must once again say, so sad, you know, to hear. You know, of Sean Connery's passing, you know, and of course, you know, just, you know, I love Bond so much, and obviously Sean Connery, you know, being one of the individuals at the heart of my love for the franchise, and obviously so sad, you know, once again, rest in peace, you know, just absolutely so shocking, so sad, but yeah, just, you know, just, wow, you know, he was, you know, to me, the overall best Bond, and yeah, just absolutely stunning, of course. And once again, just to kind of mention Sean Connery. You know, of course, I always talk about Bond, and you know, it's always a pleasure, regardless. And obviously, Sean Connery, the original, and personally for me, overall the best Bond. But yes, Quantum of Solace, you know, obviously as well, I watched very recently, and yes, just you know, Quantum of Solace, not for me personally. But yes, next up is Lone Wolf Mcquaid, starring Chuck Norris. You know, for me, I went into this film expecting a very enjoyable kind of campy martial arts film. It wasn't that enjoyable for me. Overall, I liked it, but I was kind of mildly disappointed just with the actual enjoyability of this, and also just the action to this film wasn't, you know, kind of as good, you know, or as you know, as enjoyable as I thought it would be. But yes, not much to say really. An okay film for me, one I liked, but not film. You know, I can say. You know, was that great, really, personally for me. Next up, now Donald Duck Short, Donald's Tire Trouble. You know, I watched that film, very enjoyable as well. Next up, the last film that I watched in September, Space Jam. You know, a very charming film. This film here, you know, it's kind of very unpopular at times. You know, I can say some people do not respond well to this. You know, but for me, very pleasing film, and just very inspiring at times as well. You really got invested in this film, and you know, just very enjoyable, quite magical in places actually. And yes, I love the kind of the use of you know, animation in this film as well. It's so good. And yes, another horror film here to discuss, The Babysitter. Of course, a Netflix you know, original film here, and very enjoyable film, I must say. And again, watching this in October, a great one to kind of watch around the Halloween time, and you know, I liked it so much. You know, I found it was such a lovely kind of callback at times, you know, to kind of 80s horror. You know, it felt like an 80s horror film, you know, which was great to see. I loved it so much, you know, in places, you know, that I desperately wanted to check out the sequel, also a Netflix original, and I watched that film a few days after this, and was very, very disappointed in that. And I kind of wish, these kind of films, perhaps a sequel, that you kind of want to a film, and you kind of wish you had never seen, because that was not a good film, in my opinion. Very frustrating, that one. Just really done some things that I didn't get behind, and just very, very disappointing. Kind of follow up to The Babysitter, which was so good. Very good film, that. But yes, the second one, I didn't like. But yes, of course, going through some films here. Of course, on the laptop. Next up, wow, this is very, very nice surprise here. Very pleasant to see this. Of course, Bridesmaids. Such an enjoyable film. I absolutely loved Bridesmaids, and I think just wow, what a great comedy film, in my opinion. Again, a film that I'd heard some things about. I'd seen some clips perhaps, but never really got around to watching this until last month. And wow, what a treat. Really lovely film, and just some great characters, and wow, what a great film. Great comedy, drama, and it's one of those comedies, it's very, very funny, of course, hilarious film, and very much physical comedy, but yes, also so investing, in the narrative, and just so charming, and just such a great film. This really, really loved it, personally. So yes, next up, a Brian De Palma film, that is Casualties of War. Yes, a film that I'd seen a few times when I was growing up, and was always kind of blown away by this film. And yes, let me just say, wow, really, really, wow, what a stunning film. I think this film here, I want to review, and I think I could get a review up again in the next few weeks, kind of thing. But yes, just kind of blown away once again by the film, and of course Michael J. Fox, Sean Penn, John C. Reilly. Wow, what a cast! This film, absolutely stunning, and really, really would love to talk about this film, of course. And Brian De Palma, once again, proving why he is among the best directors, for me, and absolutely stunning film by him. And next up, a film that we'll kind of just gloss over, Bordello of Blood, kind of a very very disappointing film. I thought it'd be much more fun than this, but for me, it was just very, very boring for me, and it was nice to see kind of really interesting character at first, the Corey Feldman plays, but of course, not one of the main characters, and the rest of them just really I didn't get behind, and I wasn't enjoying this film at all. Very, very disappointing, and not a film that I liked. Little Evil as well, starring Adam Scott. Again, checking out Krampus the previous month. I responded so well to that that I thought, let's check out another kind of Adam Scott horror film, of course. And very enjoyable film here. Very, very solid horror, and it's kind of a very interesting kind of obviously full-on parody, really, at times, of The Omen. So yes, great to see, and a good film, no doubt, and one that I really enjoyed personally. So yes, Locke, of course, starring Tom Hardy. I guess this is a very, very well-known film. You could say, but it's a film that I saw a few years ago for the first time, and certainly this time around I responded to it better, and I do like this film. It's definitely very unique, and I definitely I'm invested in this film, and I think of course being a film with just Tom Hardy, essentially, aside from, of course, those on the phone and all this kind of stuff, but Tom Hardy really delivers a great performance, and just very commendable film, very enjoyable at times, and overall film that I like. Certainly a film that's grown on me personally. Next up, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, and of course, part 9, of the Friday the 13th films, and again, just one of the last kind of films to watch in this franchise that I was kind of planning on watching around the Halloween time, and then of course, to end the month, I kind of ranked the kind of Nightmare on Elm Street films, including, of course, Freddy vs. Jason. So of course, watching these last few, of the Friday the 13th franchise was essential for that, and this film, Jason Goes to Hell, definitely one of the absolute worst for me, in the franchise. Very disappointing film, and as well. I just mentioned, in there, Jason X. I probably, uh, yeah, I guess I may prefer Jason Goes to Hell actually. Again, Jason X very disappointing. These last few, in the franchise, were just for me very flat and just kind of, even the kills themselves, not really that great for me. There is a highlight, in Jason Goes to Hell, with the ending of the film, and of course, if you've seen the film, you'll know what I mean. It's great to see. But for me, both of these films, including Jason X, just very underwhelming, and just Jason X, I think, what it kind of lacked as well was a location, that charming location, and just very. It just became a very much, real slog of a film. I just overall did not like Jason X personally. But yes, next up, Suspicion. I have this here, of course, an Alfred Hitchcock film. No doubt I will be reviewing this film, and very, very interesting film here, of course, starring Cary Grant. Very interesting Hitchcock, and I must say, not one of my favourites personally, but yes, I will be reviewing that film very, very soon. So yes, I'll leave my thoughts for that review. Next up, wow, Magnolia. Once again, another Paul Thomas Anderson film, and again, very, very soon I will be reviewing Magnolia, and it's a very, very special film to me, and it's just, of course, a very loved film at times. It's kind of divisive, you could say, but for me, wow, that's all I'll say there. We'll wait for the review. It'll probably be a very, very lengthy review actually for Magnolia. But yes, next up, The Heat. Once again, another kind of Melissa McCarthy film that I've really enjoyed at times, and yes, it's a good film, I feel, and very, very charming, and it's just a decent comedy film. Next up is Easy A, a film that I watched very recently as well. Emma Stone is in this film as the protagonist, of course, and yes, a fine film. Not much to say. A fine film, nothing more. I found at times, the thing for me, it was just something that didn't really go to any kind of special level, and also at the same time, unfortunately, a lot of the film was very just kind of irritating, annoying kind of thing, and just for me personally, and just yes, the approach of this, the actual storytelling and the different characters, moments of comedy perhaps, just at times, it kind of irritated me, but overall, a fine film that I enjoyed, had its moments, of course, very charming at times, and overall, yes, of course, I like the film, but yes, not a film that I loved in that sense. Yes. Next up, of course, Sweeney Todd. Wow, well indeed. Tim Burton, of course. He is just one of the guys, one of the filmmakers. It's always essential to watch one of his films at least around Halloween time, and also Christmas time as well. There's a few that I would say are great to watch, at least in the winter times, of course. And yes, Sweeney Todd, I'd seen before, of course, and responded very, very well to, of course. Let me just say that. But this time round, it grew on me even more, and absolutely stunning, this film, in my opinion. We'll absolutely be reviewing this film very, very soon. And yes, very much look forward to kind of discussing this film, of course, with you viewers. And yes, what a film this is for me. Such a kind of unique, dark, kind of musical film. Surely the most kind of violent, at least musical, we must say. But yes, next up, a Taika Waititi film. Now this guy, of course, Waititi, he is really, for me, a very, very special director, filmmaker, and of course, just I'd seen Hunt for the Wilder People before, and of course, for Ragnarok as well, and for Ragnarok for me, it's a film that I absolutely love, and of course as well, Hunt for the Wilder People. Love that film so much, and yes, once again, this time round though, What We Do in the Shadows. Wow, what a magical film this is. Comedy, horror, of course, being a mockumentary film, and just so unique, and the particular level of particular kind of comedy that's in this film, I just love so much. I love Taika Waititi's kind of humour in his films, and this film here, it's just wow, what a lovely film this is. Of course, being this vampire comedy film, wow, I'm just so so amazing to see this, and really again uplifted me, and just really great to watch around the Halloween time, and be great to kind of talk about this film at some point. I do plan perhaps on reviewing this film, perhaps not in the next week or so, but a few weeks down the line to gather my thoughts. But absolutely love this film, and yes, yet another Waititi film that I loved, and also look forward to Jojo Rabbit coming out, of course, recently as well. And this guy is just so legendary to me, and yes, absolutely love that film. Next up, Trick or Treat, again another Donald Duck film. Kind of short Disney film, and obviously as well being a Halloween themed one. So yes, it was great to watch that. Very enjoyable. Next up, Hotel Transylvania. This really surprised me. Very good film, and just again great to watch around the Halloween time. And perhaps I won't review this film. I'd have to probably rewatch it, of course, and really gather my thoughts on this. But a very nice watch, and a very investing film, especially when it got kind of past that first 10 minutes or so. It really started to really invest me, and just very nice to see all these different classic monsters and characters in this animated film. Real treat for me. And yes, next up, the last few films here to discuss. But yes, The Hound of the Baskervilles, of course, the Hammer version, and directed, of course, by Terence Fisher. Who to me is a very special filmmaker, and of course to many, very special filmmaker. He directed, of course, the Dracula version as well, the 58 one, Hammer version, and just I love that film, and I love this film, let me just say. And it was great to watch this film, so charming, and just really a pleasant film, and one of the best so far that I've seen. Hammer films, and just so nice to kind of watch this film. It'd been a few years. I watched this a few times, as a kid, and just have great memories of this. Of course, with different family members as well, and just really lovely film this. And yeah, it was great to see this. I will be hopefully reviewing this film very soon. And yes, a great one to kind of get in that that Halloween mood, of course, and a classic telling of this this tale. And yes, two films left. The penultimate film of my Halloween month, of course, was a Dracula film, and this time a very special one, of course, and that is Bram Stoker's Dracula, or of course the Francis Ford Coppola version. And for me, wow, what a film this is. Very special. Great memories, of course, kind of watching this film when I was younger, and growing up with this film, of course, and just absolutely loving this. And many great memories of kind of just the VHS that I had, and just really being disturbed by the cover. But what a film this is, and once again, just being blown away by this. And I think for me, this is a masterpiece. I'll say that now, and again, at times a divisive film, and that's perfectly fine. Of course, everyone will react differently to films, and for me, like, I'm personally a massive fan of this film. I adore this film, and I think although Nosferatu, of course, the original Nosferatu, for me, it's probably the best version of Dracula. Of course, I think this film here is probably my favourite version, and one that I personally absolutely love. And yeah, I think it probably is. Yes, my favourite kind of Dracula film. So yes, great to watch that. And yes, the final film, the film that I watched on the 31st of October on Halloween, of course, is Beetlejuice. And yes, obviously another Tim Burton film. And yes, Halloween for me, obviously, we've already mentioned, but we'll say again, very sad news, of course, on that day. So of course, I'll be honest, it did kind of, it was a very mixed day. We have, of course, the great celebration of Halloween, but it was very sad as well, to kind of hear of this this passing, obviously, of Sean Connery. But so that did kind of it was a very emotional day as well. But I did have a great time watching Beetlejuice, and it's a really, I think, a lovely film to watch. As well, not just kind of this creepy, spooky film, of course. It's kind of Halloween film, but really, just such a moving film. This, and how it kind of deals with death, actually, as well. As one of its themes. It's just very special film. very, very special. And yes, for me, one of Tim Burton's absolute best, and I think just right up there, very close to being kind of right at the top. But of course, well, for me, the absolute best Tim Burton film is by far the best for me. But by the numbers, I say, Beetlejuice is right up there, and yes, just an absolute masterpiece for me. A wonderful film. Of course, Alec Baldwin, as always, great, and Gina Davis is great, and of course Michael Keaton, wow, legendary, of course, and Winona Ryder as well. So great in this film. Massive cast in this, and just wow, lovely film. And yes, just so glad I watched this film, and for a number of weeks, I had planned to watch this film on Halloween, and was so glad I picked this one. Really uplifting, and also just that kind of really nice kind of Halloween feels, and the spookiness to it, the sets and all this kind of stuff, and just one of the ultimate kind of films to get you in that spirit, I guess. For me personally. So yes, that wraps it up, and yes, next time, of course, we'll be covering the films that I kind of watched or rewatched. That is most of them during, of course, November and December 2020. Of course, that will be either at the end of December, or, on the last day. I guess not. It will be, yes, beginning of January. That kind of video there. Of course, covering those films, and I look forward to that. Obviously, a lot of the films that I watched then will be Christmas films. During December, and actually, this being today, the 6th of November, filming this video, and yes, even I guess next week I'll be starting to watch many different Christmas films, and just to kind of get in that spirit, I guess, and to have a great time. Always kind of have a nice time watching Christmas films, and just also different films that I watch that I kind of associate with Christmas time that may not be at all Christmas films, but for example, E.T. As well. I'll be watching a few other Spielberg films, and just because I love to watch them, it's great to kind of watch, especially around the Christmas time. So yes, I look forward to that. I look forward to discussing next time as well, and obviously it'd be great to hear your thoughts on these films. What do you think? This kind of series I find is great to do. I love doing this, and just to kind of get many different kind of talking points in the comments, and just to kind of discuss with you viewers, of course, a variety of different films, and just yes, get your thoughts on them, and also to, in a general sense, perhaps in a very brief way, express my opinions, on films as well that I perhaps would never review, or at least not anytime soon. I guess as I say, I can't review every film I see. It's just kind of, I don't have the time, and also it's kind of nice to kind of leave some films at first and kind of rewatch them perhaps before doing a review. But yes, it's been great to do this again, and yes, it'd be great to hear your thoughts. It'd be great to hear, and to discuss in the comments, of course. So yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.